Hello, everyone, and we're back with yet another stream of Ace Attorney, or the Great Ace Attorney. Last night, or last time, we finished up the second case of Kazuma's death, and I'm still fucked up for it because how fucking dare you? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Like, this is the second time you killed off the main character or the mentor character. Like, what the fuck? But we solved it. Apparently, it was an accident. Hi, Ash. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the third. Yeah, let's go.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, "I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together."
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure. I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much, Maybelline, for the subscription. And yes, dinner needs and lawyers. And all I can say is, fellas, about Sholmes saying how it's a prelude between him and the Japanese student. And I swear to God, if Susato dies and he gets arrested for a third fucking time, I'm gonna fucking yell. Hopefully it's a little louder. Let me know, Mega Billion, or anybody in the chat. Maybe. My voice? I'm right next to the mic. Is this better? And yeah, I keep forgetting they give them English accents. Although I'm just kind of like, why? But I guess they don't want to be like very stereotypical, if you will. Anyways, is this better? No problem. Hopefully that should be a little better. I'm sorry if it comes out a little louder. Mercury retrograde is still being a little bit of a bitch, so we're almost there. As of this recording, there's like 3 days left of it, so. What an incredible place. I'm not doing English accents for them. I'm not English. I mean, I'm speaking English when I'm speaking American English, and I can only do a certain amount of British accents before they start getting confused in my head, so I'm just gonna do what I keep doing. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. Okay, cool. Is the game music nice and clear? Because I upped the volume a little bit. You fucking what, mate? Swear on me, mum. I'm just getting flashbacks to Squid Game, I'm sorry. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. Okay, cool, we're good. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've already been built in a few short decades since we've opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. It's certainly unfamiliar. I feel like this is like every steampunk's wet dream, but I wouldn't know because I'm not into. I mean, the aesthetic of steampunk has always been good. Like, it's always been cool. Like, I get it. I completely get it. Like, it's really neat. But I'm just not that into it. Like, I don't know. It's a very English thing, I feel like. It could be also very American. It looks cool, but I don't know. I kind of had an idea for a steampunk story, so yeah. Anyways, we'll keep going. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. Yeah, look at those big old gears. Holy fuck. What is this place again? Yeah, the steampunk hats are very cute. Like, they're very, very cute. And I also kind of... Yeah, the silly little outfits. I do find it interesting that a lot of the steampunk outfits, especially the ones the women wear, is very... Like, I know where Gothic Lolita got its origins, but I do find it interesting that also collides with that culture a little bit, just in terms of how, like... there are certain rules to follow, the certain etiquette, and how the dresses, and mostly the dresses, really, how almost similar they are. I know steampunk is mostly based off the Victoria era, like, straight up. And I know Gothic Lolita is essentially from Versailles, because, you know, they're Teaboos. They're not Teaboos. They're literally Oweeaboos. And they really like the dresses. They're like, fuck it, we'll just incorporate it into our own, and, you know, fuck the Japanese patriarchy and all that, which I respect and I admire. I could never be into the style of Gothic Lolita, the dress, obviously the dress, but major respect to those people. Holy shit, y'all are the VIPs. You know, anyone who does those alternative fashions are just awesome, period. Like, I love it. It's so great. This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. See, I imagine, like, Ryunosuke and Susato are talking to each other in their native tongue, and then when they talk to, like, Shomes or whomever's not Japanese, they speak to them in English, since they did say that they obviously had to study English in college, in school, well, mostly in college, seems like. So, you know, that's how I imagine them. The Lord Chief Justice. We had instructions to report here at this time if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuma can't. No. So instead, we're here in a different capacity as envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yes. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So we'd have to return to Japan. But didn't he study? Didn't he say he was just gonna study, like really cram an entire, like, God knows how long worth of education, of lawyer education into that brain of his? If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Yes, which means you need to requisite work qualifications as a lawyer. Which is what I've been studying for. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, weren't you studying for that? Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why you're here. To have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way we'll be able to remain here in London. I hope I'm up to scratch. Ah, good morning. Sorry for keeping you. So I'm just gonna default to a British accent and try to keep it consistent. It's kind of hard sometimes. Obviously, I'm not British. Oh, hello. He's literally the same way. He's like, oh, oh. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. That is a very big lad. It's Doctor Who. It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies. He's probably gonna die, isn't he? Oh, no. Don't mention it. We're never happier than we were standing around with nothing much to do. So y'all really just stood there for an hour just kind of looking around? I mean, fair, but like... How fortunate. Is this Gan? What's his fucking name? Damon Gantz. Like his grandpa or some shit? So, introductions. I am Mel Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. And I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse. What kind of fantasy? Honestly, fair. I love it. This is such a nice thing where I guess it's nice to see, you know, the people of color having relatively normal names for once, and the majority, I will say, having the fantasy name. We stand this. Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Runosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Although Naruhodo's obviously is a pun as well, but my point remains. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. God, I'm so sorry. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Did you see the birds? I saw them. Yes, thank you. Can I look around? I want to look around. This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble. It looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me. I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruhodo. It feels like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home is made of bricks and stones here. I know. That's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure. Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room. These are standing there, menacingly. I believe they're suits of armor. Oh, right. I thought maybe they were like lion dogs, the lion dogs we have in Japan guarding the shrine gates. No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, Suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know. What are you reading, girl? Well, I guess maybe if you read about the Tower of London, fair enough. And they roam around in the middle of the night. Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Miss Susato? This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. If you're ever unsure, just ask. Where did she get that incredible tome? She bought it online. She went to Amazon. Just double checking something real quick. Okay, yeah, we're good. I just like to explore things first before I get to the main story, just in case, because I just love exploring. I love the flavor text. Just look at all the naughty books packed together on these shelves. They go from floor to ceiling. And they're all books that you can hope to come by in Japan. It's like a dream. Yes, a very bad dream. They're not all about British law either. There are books about the judicial systems of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland. I love that. Holland was its own country at the time, right? Fuck. What was the other? Wasn't there another name for Holland? I'm getting mixed up. What about Russia? Why do you ask? I was wondering about asking. Yeah, like that's what I was thinking. Like the Netherlands region around, like I don't want to say Denmark, but most likely Netherlands. I was wondering about asking the Lord Chief Justice how you say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think? I think perhaps it's a thought best abandoned. Hello, Elfie. How are you doing tonight? Tonight we are playing the third case of Phoenix Wright. Oh, I didn't mean to do that again. I just love her little animations. They're so cute. Okay, this is what I want to look at. Is this some kind of clock? Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. But those gears are larger than anything you'd find on a steam locomotive even. It's eerie. Do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean. Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they? I guess? Boys? Any boys in the chat? Can you confirm or deny? I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size, and I'm certain you wouldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make, considering how large they are. There's actually something quite soothing about the precise rhythm. And then time moves on. Okay, yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to look at anything else. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, we're done here. Okay, let's converse with this man. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, help. I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. He could be like, it's a city. Yep, that sure is a city. It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Ooh? We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say, I'm almost lost for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water, and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. No comment. No comment. Oh yes, astounded is the word. Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. until you know the truth. No, I'm kidding. Oh god, wouldn't that be fucking awful if this game actually has like a Jack the Ripper guy or like someone who's like, you know, because they had to kill, like literally Killer, Shelly the Killer in Phoenix, right? No, she's not. I think I went over this before, but no, she's not. The Faye family has a very specific name, and it's not her. What's it called? Oh. But yeah, can you just imagine if they had like Jack the fucking Ripper, the goddamn Ripper in this game? I'd be fucking yelling. But obviously he won't be killing sex workers, he'd be killing other people, but you know. Please. What are you saying please for, Ash? That would be cool. Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition. Why can't I talk? I wish I could use my regular voice, but I want to be fancy. But the great exhibition we will be hosting here in London. Great exhibition? Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. Keep the chain of evil women going. Subvert the expectations. I have a feeling we're probably going to see the xenophobic ass lady from the beginning again. I mean, like, she was a bit much. Damn. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history. And will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop. Ah, so I see your rivalry is still going strong. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. So you like to believe. I'm kidding, I'll stop. Even if you do say so yourself. The sun will never set in our great empire. Many will disagree. Perhaps it is fated in these progressive times. We welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Lord Chief Justice? I think you were expecting a student of law for the study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. I'm Mr. Kazuma Sogi if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. Yeah, I mean, that is beneficial. Just wanna... I think... Oh, sorry, I'm just kind of figuring something out for a second here. Okay, alright, we should be good now. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news? Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that is true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means the study tour arrangement can no longer proceed. If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madam? It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo? This is it then. The moment of truth. Oh god, do I have to do a quiz? I'm dumb as hell. Fuck. Well, good thing hopefully I can make some saves. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead? Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there is nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? No lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. And that was Mr. Asogi. At least, that is what I have been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. Mr. Naruhodo, I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I gonna say? If there's someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, it's... Actually, there's no one. It's me! It's me! It's me. I can do it. Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... Nice, Chris Pratt. Not Chris Pratt. No, not the crispy rat. No qualifications, you say? And yet you still claim to be a lawyer? Why would you say that, you dumbass? Like, why would you tell him that? I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I had Kazuma to help me, and I was the accused. But glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board this SS Buria. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short of a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asogi's journey had only just begun. Coming here to the study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry out and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please. 31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in a good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put in those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Oh no. Are you trying to say that you need Ronosuke to stream and you're just gonna sit there and watch and not chat? Rude. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? He's gonna murder someone in front of him as a test. No, don't do that. Well, yes, that's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Well, no, I didn't even notice that. Do it again. Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specifically certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? No, what's the test? Who do I have to defend? So, what form will the test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, What do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Yep, I called it. I knew it. We were gonna have to defend someone. Literally right here. Huh? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today. Your theory still stands? Well, there is a trial. So you're not completely off base, but like, so that he pulls out a knife. Not the knife. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news. Today? Straight away? We don't know anything about anything, sir. This isn't the future or the current time. If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you have passed my test. What could be simpler? How do I get myself into these situations? So is this where he pulls out the knife? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart? Yes, good question. Ah, I remember. It's a murder trial. Because he killed him. He killed him. I hate this. No! A murder? An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. That's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment. Off you go in the Tower of London. Wait, do they still do that? No, they don't. It's basically a tourist trap, huh? Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably, you could read that much into your short C-based introduction to British law? We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life. I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? You know, this says a lot about our society. Especially the law. There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is to ensure that you don't lose. I'm getting Major Clavier vibes here. No, Kristoff. Kristoff is the devil. That's right. So the defendant may live or die, depending on how well I perform in court? If I lose, he'll be hanged. Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. He's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be? What do I say? Do I agree to absurd test? I'm saving it just in case. But, we're doing it. Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it! I can't get the words out! 15 seconds. Your decision making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So, it's as I suspected, isn't it? Sorry? You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. We said we were gonna do it. Like, what the fuck? The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Did I choose the wrong one? Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. Yes, long, strong heart. I cannot believe it. I actually fucked it up. Thank you for offering me a chance. Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry, Mrs. Sato. But what can I do? It's alright. I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. I don't know. I said I would do it, but Runosuke said no, or he couldn't get the words out in time. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madam? I think what Mrs. Sato means is that no matter how badly I like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by trading his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable. Hell yeah, get his ass, girl boss. And I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in that dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Man. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay, for a second I was like, wait, did I fuck up already? Meanwhile, Phoenix who bitches about taking cases last minute while immediately taking them, right? Well, then again, he needs the money, so he's probably like, fuck. It's either this or I eat like fucking breadcrumbs again. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one else to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can't pass down. But that's awful! But that is the truth. Why does it have to be like this? Please, don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there's only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. I mean, we were gonna say yes. I mean, I'm really his only hope? So, what do you say now, madam? Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Is it though? Oh. Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. God, this guy's a piece of shit. Well, not... He's just a dick. He's gone. The Old Bailey. Yeah, we're gonna hustle. Yeah, we're gonna take his case. Like, we already know that. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once. Well, can we talk? I always like talking. Miss Susato, can I just ask you something? Careful, from this position, I could perform a Susato takedown in an instant. I know. Mr. Naruhodo, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts imminently. If I need to throw you, I will. Jesus. Honestly, I hate to say it, but Susato is quite an upgrade from Maya. Like, I love Maya to death, but Susato does not fucking play around. You know, you could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom. If you need to ask me anything, it had better wait until we're at the Old Bailey. So yeah, like I said, I really appreciate her. She's the girl boss to Maya's gaslight. Not the gaslight, so who's the gatekeep? Who is the gatekeep? Fucking Emma Sky? Oh my gosh, she is. Oh my fucking god. Yes. Oh, thank goodness. We're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. Alright, so who's our silly defendant? I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were gonna rattle loose. Did you hear what I said to the driver? Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. Did she just bribe him with alcohol? It's one of my favorite lines from Herlock Sholmes' stories, and it worked quite perfectly. Yeah, see, this is what I mean, like, both Susato and Naruhodo are speaking in their native language versus talking to, like, the English characters. Or again, the non-Japanese people. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were gonna die. And we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. Oh god. I don't see him. Unless he's one of the... So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Well, that's the English for you. They go big or they go home. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm feeling tense. That's all. No big deal. It's not like me or my descendants are ever gonna feel this way again. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is gonna crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Top of the morning to y'all, madam. Sir? Hello? What? Hello? This man is like a Willy Wonka / Doctor Who combination. What are you doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, aren't they? I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best with these accents. Please, be patient with me. Sorry? Would you look... Wait, is he Irish? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait a minute, like, I think he's Irish. It just hit me. Would you look at those expressionless... Would you look at those expressionless faces from the east, aren't you? We're from Japan. Yes. Ah, Japan, is it? Right. Say no more. So, how much do you need? I feel like I'm doing like a weird combination of Scottish and Irish. Like, I am so sorry, Scottish and Irish people. I love y'all. Y'all are fantastic. Stay glowing. Stay Scottish and... You know, I think I mentioned this before, but I do have a college buddy, like someone from college, who is very proudly Scottish. and he has another buddy who's Irish. You know, that it's so funny too because they always like to play like, oh, you know, we're fighting, oh, and then they meet an English, you know, someone who's presumably English, and they're like, okay, let's team up, you know, that kind of stuff. No, we're just here because. No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. What is this Willy Wonka talking about? No place to go, and nothing to eat. Barely a penny for your name, and all while in a strange, faraway land. God, I hope that's Scottish. No, I hope that's Irish. Again, I am so sorry. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet. No, this Willy Wonka ass looking motherfucker. Tis grand, tis grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Please, Mr. Sato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is... It's enough to buy an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? I'm not about to yell. My throat is precious. It's nothing to me at all. I'd like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough weather to buy the city of London 1, 2, or 3 times over. And I hope the Irish would. They deserve it. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Oh my god, he made a I just realized he made a make it rain joke. I'm yelling. This Willy Wonka motherfucker, this Willy Wonka Doctor Who ass fucker just fucking said he's gonna make it rain. I hate this. No! Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. That hit me in the eye. You could do that? I mean, don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you no strings attached. I'd be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, this is a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for my good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'll be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand down there next to me. Nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is gonna start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I don't think that was something you would have been worried about. I think he's more worried about the fact that he's really gonna just toss you out not knowing a goddamn thing about goddamn anything. At least public defense lawyers know what's going on. Somewhat. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Ruster and blazes! Does you not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names? No, sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose this isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park, there in the center of London, in another beautiful park. Sorry? A park? What? It is called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated to the city, so I did. An entire park? In central London? Who is this guy? Is he really Willy Wonka? Hello? A city of smiles. That's my vision for London. Yeah, he's if he makes a fucking time loop joke, I'ma fucking lose it. I'm already losing it, even more so. There is nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its queer people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. No, his name is clearly Billy Wonka. But now they go to say I'm a good for nothing criminal. Me, Magnet the Gilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask you? No comment. Alright, don't pass out. Mr. Naruto. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. A good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands... What was I saying, you daft idiot? I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offered to just stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry? I know what you're thinking. This chancellor of a fella claims to have more money than the queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well? No, that's the... Why would we say exactly? We're not gonna say that. Not at all. Although it is a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean. That would be the fault of the Reaper. The what? The Reaper? God, Jesus Christ, what? Sorry, did he just say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barog Van Zeeks. He's the prosecutor. Oh. I guess we're meeting the big lad, the prosecutor, the leggy lad today. Or tonight. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zeek stands for prosecution, they call it the accused's sacrificial lambs. Yep, it's the leggy one. I think that's the leggy one. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor. Well, go get food now. It's probably going to take a while before we see the big sexy, and I want you to eat. The accused has been damned. What? So it's reached the desperate situation where there is no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness, Lord Barak Van Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Oh God, please don't. No, Manfred von Karma is German. They're straight up German, so they would. That is not their ancestor. That is for sure. Talented is the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned and his counsel. Oh, please make your way to the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel. That would be me. Oh, tea time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. After you showed your face here, I already made up my mind, so I have. Sorry? I decided I had to defend myself in there. How would have that worked? Keep burping. But then you made an appearance, a student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet out, please. I literally know nothing about the case or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. I mean, yeah, of course not. Mr. Naruhodo. The man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. I'll be right there. Alright. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. And again, Renosuke's thinking, this will never happen to my descendants. Are we gonna save? Because, oh boy, that's intimidating. That's very intimidating. God, imagine just being able to defend a guy like right when you just came from an international boat ride. I would do not recommend. I don't think. Oh my God, a maid? Hello? So this is the highest court in Great Britain. The Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. Give him to me now. Stop barking. We haven't seen Big Sexy yet. Did you get your food? The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. Did you go get your food? Go get your food or no Big Sexy. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes. What? Oh, hold on a second. Yes, go. Oh, yes, what? There he goes with the eyes again. Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it. Oh, there's the Big Sexy. Oh my God, the judge. I'm just gonna use my regular voice. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare... Why did they say it like that? I hereby declare this court to be in session. Okay, disclaimer, I used to live in the South. I'm doing my best. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Oh my God, he's Dracula. Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Don't be racist. Huh? Oh yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Oh my God, he's so fucking regal. Those eyes please me. Nipponese. What? What? I know that's what it's called, but hello? They shroud your fear, no your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. Okay. I could be his sacrificial lamb, that's all I can say. God damn. He has a way with words. A cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. He's like, don't seduce the defense now. No, Mr. McGilded. Yes, my lord? You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner? As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young, even if the fella is a student from some little island off in the Far East. It is not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and to give the less fortunate a fair chance. I like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGill. What a fine gentleman London has to offer. Did you hear that he donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, may we please play Mr. McGill to park? It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded. That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Well, again, big sexy there. Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? Oh, this is way ahead of the times. Yes, my lord. If the task is to send the rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Ha! Any criminals here will still be wishing they never set eyes on me. I feel a chill. Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mittens for my grandson. Mr. Naruhodo, those people are... The jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right. I have only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentences according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So, the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely points of view. But how exactly did the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes. Prosecutor found 6. My lord? It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounce your fame. I am known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So, what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstances of which the court should be aware? God, he's hot. Holy shit. I love one white man. I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So, the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback? Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo. As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. We must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. Sorry, Thrice? He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. Oh shit, that is not an easy way to go. The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Okay. Well, they can't check for prints. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard. Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence. Okay, cool. We need to look at that in a bit. And one further item of evidence, and we will go over that in just a bit. Let's see. I want to examine Thrice. He was 54 years old. He was a brickmaker. It's 15th of February. Stabbed once, lost in an omnibus. Died due to internal hemorrhaging. Okay. Let's look at the photograph. I mean, this thing is gonna... Wait, a button is missing. That's interesting. I mean, it's kind of random, but then again, if he was like world... I guess my thought process right now is if he was world renowned, why would he be walking around without a button? And why is this like so unkempt? He's 32. He's 32. Oh my god, King, my DMs are open. Okay, so he's a skilled. Okay, so he's poor. Okay, that would explain it. I don't know shit about shit. Call me, Barrick. God, he's so hot. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And these are... Good lord! Is that blood, counsel? Yes, my lord. Seized by the policemen who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? Hello? Mr. McGilded's gloves had blood on it? This is not looking good. Of course it's going to be tough. Ugh. Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well. Okay, cool. We'll take a look at it in just a moment. How did they get into this? Well, that's all I can say as well. Like, I don't know what else to say. Alright, I just want to take a look. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with in our first day in London. Well, nothing will come out of grumbling now. No. Oh, by the way, is Mr. McGilder right-handed? Yes, I believe so. He was toying a coin in his right hand a little earlier. Pity. If only he'd be left-handed. I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really. No, oh shit, no, I wanted to look around. Maybe there's something odd that we could see right away. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, that's like the only thing that we can look at right now. Okay. I backed into the corner before I even started. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of the passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded. Well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you? Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded? To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in the carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it. Are you claiming to have been asleep? 'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lieutenant. So it is. Lilton? I have no idea what he's trying to say there. And when I opened my eyes again, there was a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I never laid eyes on before in my life. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fellow bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't able to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got on the gloves then after. But then, wouldn't there be more blood if he was trying to reach it? I mean, not to like try to say that our guy did it or anything, because obviously we know he did not. But wouldn't there be more blood? Unfortunately, that statement of the driver is only the beginning. What? That's not all of it? There are multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brick maker was fatally stabbed. Order! Right? Oh, he's trying to have the accent in there. When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. That is not the case of This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Thank you, counsel. Oh, the circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. What about the driver? I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all. Your wish is my command. Oh my god, he's Carrie Yules! I'm yelling! I love it. I love him. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once. God, he's so fucking big sexy. Holy shit! Oh my god, look at this twink. Witnesses, your names and occupations. My name is... Well, everyone calls me Beppo. Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End. Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city. My name is First. Lady First. And I, make hats for gents. Oh my god, he's a certified twink. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witnessed the aforementioned incidents. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Quite right. Yes, sir. That's right, sir. Very well then, let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. Oh my god. Oh no. It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged the knife right into his guts. That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus. And then I saw it too. Unambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. There has to be something. I'm just checking one more time. I don't know. these men witnessed these men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes. I'd like to ask a question, if I may. Yes, Consul? Well, the testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Why not? Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it? As has been clearly stated from the onset, yes. Well, in that case, how can those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of a moving carriage. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Duh. If they were supposedly inside the carriage, then how do they know what happened? How quaint. I'd read that civilization the Easter Island nations was a good century behind in our own. Oh no, don't say that. Don't. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you ever traveled in an omnibus? Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning. No matter. I've arranged for us to see for ourselves. The actual scene of the crime, that is. What do you mean? The actual scene? How? A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much? Yes? The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today in this very building. Here? What? The entire carriage? Bailiff? Bring forth the stricken omnibus. Yeah, I don't know what... Oh, it's one of these. Okay, but that's still, like, in a moving carriage. Like, how do you even know? So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. 4 passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight on the roof, allowing the view of the interior from the seats above. But then, okay, so then my next question is this: if those 2 were in here, somebody would have to be sitting here. They can't all be sitting next to each other. Otherwise, that's a fella's situation. A skylight. Oh! The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the roof seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. Fellas! That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight. That makes perfect sense. Well, Consul, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced a crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish. Very well, I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence. Okay, so I want to go ahead and take a look at that. I can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence? I mean, yeah? Okay, so I really... Ooh, that's important. So let's... Okay, we can't... Okay. Oh, that's what we want to do. So, this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have wonderful. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here. So people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with the cold air rushing past them, and they have to pay money to do so. I can't imagine how cold it must feel. That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as a punishment? Perhaps that is the real price you paid to stay out late. In that case, then why would they sitting up? But it's not it's winter. It's February. So why would these fuckers be sitting up here anyway? Let's see. So this is the roof tag. Okay. Oh, no, it wasn't done. Okay, I can't obviously look. Really? Really? Y'all are sneaky bitches. Really, Phoenix, right? Really? I'm screaming. No, oh my god, I love it. It's cheesy as hell. Can I look at it? Can I No, I can't examine it. No. Alright, see. Is there anything else we can... Well, if it's late, I don't... Welcome back, Ash. I want to show you something. Look. Think of the Phoenix Wright reference in there. I'm fucking yelling. That's so funny. So Phoenix was really named after a goddamn bus. I hate this. I hate this. Anyways, we're gonna see a big sexy in a minute. Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary. Yeah, his parents named him after a fucking bus. I fucking love it. I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing it's here. Okay, then we'll just do that again. Yeah, wait a minute. Hold on, buddy. Okay, now that we can go... Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we? This scene of a murder, it's horrible. Okay, so I am more curious than not. Why the fuck nobody wanted to sit on the inside when it's winter? And I imagine winter in London gets really fucking cold. That's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole expedition. Ooh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event. I know it's... No! Damn it. I hate it when I do that. Alright, this time I'm not gonna fuck up. Alright. Oh, damn it. Okay, so remember, note to self. Right click is backing out. Sorry. Nasty right now. Alright. Okay, yeah, this is what we should look at. Okay, what is the notice? What is this notice for? That's the poster for the... Okay, that's blah, blah, blah. We already know that. Okay, we need to look at this. That's a... For a stomach wound, I don't know. I guess... for a stomach wound, that's quite a bit. But, like, I guess I shouldn't say that's quite a bit. It's more like, that's not... I feel like there's not enough blood for a tummy wound. Ooh, but what if he was killed before he was put in the bus? Yeah, but, like, by who? Let's see, that... Bless the blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously. Yeah, that's obviously the victim's blood. Yes, that seat would clearly be visible from the roof deck. But again, he also had consumption from the stomach. Would you really stab someone in full view of the other passengers like that? I wonder. No, obviously. Like, hello? If you're not a coward. Well, it was after dark. And there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight. But then here's my question. But here's my question, though. Like, if that was the case, they would barely be able to see it at all, right? Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. It looks very random more than anything. I want to see something. Is there... Okay, there is a light in here. Okay, so they would be able to see that. My question is, why isn't anybody, like, sitting in here when it's fucking winter? The seat looks reasonably soft, but it's actually rather hard when you sit on it. And it's only just wide enough for two gentlemen to sit side by side, really. Of course, an English gentlewoman would be dressed in such finery. It would be quite impossible for her to climb up to the roof deck, so she would have to be seated in here. A woman in a kimono would have the same problem. Women's clothes are very impractical, aren't they? He said women's rights. Well, I just want to explore this, really. I don't want to look at the seat. What is this? See, it has a handle, it seems. Oh. This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep an omnibus running. Feeding tubes, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So is a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems. There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to store the luggage, that's for sure. I guess. I mean, not if you're a coward. Not if you're like... I mean, then again, I imagine maybe back then their baggages were bigger. Not like what we have today. It says everything is like on our phone, you know what I mean? Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway. Points. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here's a skylight. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Yeah, it's quite large enough to afford a good view to the cabin from the front deck, from the roof deck. And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from the inside in the cabin at least. Okay, so you can't open it. There really doesn't seem to be a lot right now that I notice. Back. Okay, maybe with the opportunity, maybe I can actually look at other places. Can I even look at this from the outside? You can certainly see inside the carriage, that's for sure. Yes, and there is a lamp in the closed cabin, so I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see it quite clearly. That's not good for us. Yeah, no joke. Let's see if there's extra dialogue for this. So this is the roof. Yeah, but that's my question. If they're sitting up here during winter, That's my question. Like, why are y'all doing that? But then again, maybe they just... I don't know. Let's see. That's not new dialogue. I don't think there's anything else, because that's where the horses would be. Okay, I can't really think of anything. Let us continue the proceedings then. Your cross-examination, counsel. See, there's Big Sexy right there. Pray, don't expect these Nipponese astray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. I know, right? And he's 32 years old. God, he's so Big Sexy. All right. My first cross-examination in the British court. Focus, Rinosuke. Focus. Dilf, I can't believe that being in his 30s now is a fucking Dilf. So does that make me a MILF? Ash? It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well, okay. The victim and the man accused were sat next to each other. Okay, that's technically true, I guess. Okay, so explain yourself. You actually saw the exact moment it happened? Kind and nurturing. Okay, cool. Hey everybody, I'm apparently MILF Energy. Didn't I already testify to that? Or are fair dinkum hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days? These days? More like never. The hell you're on? Oh, no. I didn't mean that. This is no good. I've really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail of that. My lord! Juror number 3? What's the meaning of this? My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. Made up about what? I don't like this sticking rich. Never have. Fair. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. Fair. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. He's probably nouveau rich. He's Gatsby rich. Oh my god. Oh, this isn't good. We just started. There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway. That is precisely what I was about to say. As the foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors. We just started! Yeah, and yes, he has a knife in court. What is happening here? Let me see. Yes. It seems that's how the members of the jury gave their verdicts. With fire? Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. He did it. Juror number 3 did it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious that he did it because of the whole fucking knife thing. I'll be surprised if it was the granny who did it. As the 6 members of the juries make up their minds about the case, one by one, they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago. So if those enormous scales fall complete on the black side, does that mean... Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen. Now I'm even more worried than I was before. Very well. The court acknowledges the changes in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. This is a nightmare. Like, y'all didn't not even get a... Okay, this fucking twink. That's right, he stopped him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it. So
Hold it!
let's press on this. He stabbed him, you say? And you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you? Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. That's quite... I've been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right from his belly. That huge great knife. A grim sight indeed. That didn't help me at all. The jury looked like they were even more convinced my client did than they were before. Santa, that's the judge. That appears to have made everyone even more dubious than Mr. McGilded is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions. Mr. First. Oh, yes, sir? Is this the knife you saw? Oh, good grief. Yes, that's it. The very one, sir. Is that? Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart. That is the blade of considerable size, counsel. It is. And furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar. Please, no. Yeah, exactly, no. What the fuck? No. M, for Magnus, perhaps? Or McGilded, possibly? Take your pick. It could be for my big sexy man. Exactly, it could be a W. It's W for Wombo. It seems that this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Objection!
But there are M's everywhere. Like, yes, like in Mason.
Objection!
God, even his voice is sexy. This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have ever owned. Do the leg thing. No. This weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused. Ugh. Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel. Okay. Right? Like, do the leg thing, you big ass, sexy ass fuck. My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption. Juror number 2. Go on. Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman, and a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However, those of us in service knows we must accept hard truths. Wait, what are you about to dispose of the rubbish? This little Missy, she was just salivating for that shit. What the fuck? No! I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime. I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. Dude, we're just started! What the fuck? Not again. That's 4 out of 6 jury members who proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left. We've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse, but we're getting more information, right? Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark. Exactly, like that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. We need information. I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may as well fly. We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back. But Alright. I'll keep trying. I can't give up. Like, literally, we literally just started. Like, we literally just started. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. Okay, so as soon as you heard the scream, you stopped the bus, and then you saw it too.
Hold it!
How was he able to see it? He's the driver! What exactly did you see? Oh, well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, collapsed on the floor he was. And by the passenger, obviously you're referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. And then the other passenger had the knife in his hand, like this. By the other passenger, obviously you're referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded. And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passengers in the belly. What? This is not good. Order! Order! It is hard to believe one of London's greatest philanthropists, but this is damning indeed. The law knows no philanthropist, my lord. Only the innocent. And the guilty. Do the leg thing. Good deeds mean nothing when overshadowed by evil. The truth is everything. Oh my god. Keep talking loud to me, Daddy. Couldn't agree more, sir. The truth. God, wouldn't it be fucked if this old man did it? Alright. So when it happened, the only two people in the closed cabin area were the victim and the defendant. And so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend to do the deed. I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here. What am I supposed to think here? Is Mr. McGilded really innocent? Of course he is, but we can't prove it because every one of these fucking jurors are fucking ridiculous. Anyways, I need to look at this. That part is the sheath, isn't it? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, sorry, yes, I just don't really like blades. Oh, those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist. That's not a blade, that's Kazuma's soul. He's really like, that's just not any blade, that's my boyfriend you're talking about, my dead one. Anyway, there's no sense of delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. Ooh. That's that blood, alright? Ugh, that looks a lot like blood. It surely is blood. The victim's. Ugh, an Englishman's blood looks a lot like a Japanese man's blood. Did you think it wouldn't? Susato's like, are you really like becoming a Tiabu here? Come on, I'm a Tiabu and now you don't even go that far. What the fuck? Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust. Yes, I do understand. Shit, man. Or as someone once famously said, that's rough, buddy. Okay, this is the M that they were... Yeah, it looks more like a W, like when you do it like that. An ornate letter M. Undeniably Mr. Magnus McGilded's initial. And it's beautifully gilded too. It must be very valuable, I should think. Ah, what is it? Look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W for Wumbo. This could change everything. A W? A W for win. Yes, this is one of those, you know, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it. I'm afraid I don't know at all, but what I am sure of is that this is an M. Oh, well, that idea was quickly quashed. But it is possible. It is possible, because M is one of those letters that can Could it be... Before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at this moment. Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witnesses' statements again, a little more carefully this time. It was the last supposed to be, so...
Hold it!
Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it? Oh, yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes, ever so cold it was, sir. Freezing, in fact. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct? That's my question. Like, they're talking about that they're sitting in the skylight, or in the sky seats. What the fuck are they doing when there were other seats in there before? Is that correct? Yes, sir. That's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, but of course, though, no. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place? Not one alighted, for example? You're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that. No, none. So nobody fled the scene of the crime then? I have to say, the boss insists on it running. He does. Every evening, that last bustle of the day. Please get paid, sir. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say. What do you mean by that? Well, what with it being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spent that much at the pub on the way home, just to warm up again. I just can't believe it, sir. Can't believe it. Murder in my own boss. It's too awful to think about. I haven't been able to shake this cold ever since it happened. My lord, I wish to speak. No, not again. Shut your bitch ass up. Like, seriously. These jurors were a mistake. Holy fuck. Yes, juror number 5? Do I take it that you too? As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself. And yet, you're still making a fucking decision. But I've had enough now. The horse has bolted, as they say. No! No! Gee up now, Silver Blaze! The finish is in sight! Do you get to call taxis? I hope so! I'm about to fight an old woman if she fucking says guilty. Holy shit. Beppo is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says. Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir. This is too unkind, sir. Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Is he carrying a whole ass sword? God, he's so sexy. Madam Juror number 6. Yes, dear? What can I do for you? You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand. That is not... No! Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know. Then pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning? Because she's not a bitch. She's not a fucking coward. Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit to me. I always go to the park around this time of day and sit on a nice bench to get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Park it's called. The gentleman donated to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have in it him. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life. He's always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right. A man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely? Mother, may we go to the McGilded Public Library later and borrow some more books? How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? Do the lake thing. What kind of man Magnus McGilded really is? What kind of man is he? The philanthropist Magnus McGilded has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. Spill the tea. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir, and one of the very darkest of souls. What? Stone the crones. McGilded lends money in extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak. I've never heard any mention of that before. Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Get his ass. Well, I guess he's done for. Get your F's ready in the chat. Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service? Maybe he's actually good? And you're not saying that. The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability. It would come to us no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts. Okay, but as sexy as you are, do you have proof? Good gracious. The brickmaster was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. You know, I just saw a show about shit like this, so I'm just kind of like having flashbacks right now. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owed taken from him. His life. Do the lake thing. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded. I don't believe it. If I might add something briefly, Miss Susato? You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. But where is the evidence to support your claim? Hell yeah, Queen, call him out on his bullshit. Ask him for the screen caps. Show the DMs, King. Oh my god. Do the lake thing! Oh my god, is he gonna do the lake thing? Do the lake thing, you big sexy! Pray, forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice in the court of law. Aha! There it is! Lord Van Zieg's hollow chalice! How can this be considered acceptable? Boy, you don't... Wait until you see the future, boy! But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself. As judicial assistant to the offense, I am simply doing my job. What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside. Oh. Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. Do the lake thing, King. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice and the toast to the enigmatic is at the same time. A marvelous toast, Counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence. Okay, so we definitely gotta check that shit out. This is exhausting. Mentally exhausting. Ah, yes. 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum. Yeah, that's right, but, let's see. Okay, I just want to check. Okay, obviously it's not gonna be like that, so... This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets to Lunch's gentry. Oh dear. Do you really think we ought to look inside? Yes? Yes? Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder. I assure you we will not find Mr. Sholmes' names inside. Well, let's see what we find. Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it? Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all. Aren't they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off. Goodness! What is it? Look at this! Do you see the name here? Bruce Fairplay. Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar. It's one of the witnesses. It's the banker. Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment. Oh yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? He borrowed 20 guineas, didn't he? Look, the repayment date is fast approaching. It's possible this is just a coincidence, of course. It's never a coincidence in these cases. This is a very Mariah Nikki, our future diary moment here. But this could be very useful information. Okay, yeah, I knew we were gonna have to look at that eventually. Just cause, you can't trust him. And the accused quite made certain he had ample recompense. Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. Regrettably, madam, this is the modus operandi of the accused. And it's such a pretty little part, too. What a scoundrel. No, Queen. Still, maybe it's all for the best. Wait a minute. Let's think about this a little more before. I don't stand for nonsense. No. That's how I'm feeling too. Well, we lost our first case. God damn it. That was it. The last juror's decision. According to this Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here. The final verdict. It's over then. Oh! There's a footnote, though. A footnote? However, the defense... All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement with the case. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision. According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections. Of course there's gonna be a fucking objection. Hello? We didn't even get a chance to do anything. Mrs. Satu, just tell me one thing. Oh, yes? You were in the middle of saying something before. A footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense. What did it say next? Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. Summation examination?
Objection!
God, he's so sexy. Do the leg thing. A summation examination? From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Ah, judging from the binding, I would say the book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten, and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck. Oh. What even is it, Mrs. Hato? The so-called summation examination. Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it. You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails? Typical Nipponese. Oh, shut up, big sexy. We can fix him. We can fix him. All right, Mr. Naruhodo. I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury. To do what exactly? Yeah, she is adorable. Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. Make them reverse their... Yes, so we can take backseats. Like, I would imagine we would be able to do that. Yes, in times gone by, baristas will use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really. So it rather fell out of use. I wonder why. Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age. Well, good thing we're gonna do just that. Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked. Hell yeah, Queen! Girl boss your way! What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. Oh. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? A summation examination, our last possible option. Do we assert our right and carry out or admit defeat? No! Let's assert our right! Hell yeah! Let's show these people what's up. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
Shut your bitch ass up! London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Objection!
But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe it could prove vital in this trial. I guess we're gonna learn yet another mechanic. The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. This is madness. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? Eh? Well, I'm not, there was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so... All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. On what grounds? You must justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, Lord, you're rather putting us on the spot. You're a juror. That's your fucking job. This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before. I don't really hold with all this justifying luck. That seems to have thrown the jurors off. It seems none of them have experienced this before. Alright then, the summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for to turn this trial around. Hell yeah, get that turnabout. So be it then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant Magnus McGilded guilty of this most serious crime. Alright, here we go. We're gonna learn how to get this shit going. There was nowhere else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him. I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers, with fares totaling 20 pence. He stuck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion. You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years. The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It's beggars belief. Yeah, it's not an answer. I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they? Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I'll have to throw everything I can at them and use some very persuasive language. Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works. Oh? I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant. Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. That's true. But then, they've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it can recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become. Then what on earth am I supposed to do? Oh dear. I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo. Right. I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work then? Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments. Oh wait, does that mean that we need to like have them fight against, I guess kind of turn against each other? Well, this will be perfect for me because I'm good at starting shit. Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together. And that's the way to break them down, you mean? Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other. I see, so it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination. Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Find contradictions in their statements and put the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off. Can we stop the proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal. Yes, my lord. Alright. I got a sneaking suspicion. Alright, here's my rebuttal. There was no one else. Okay, so that's... I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory. It seems 4 passengers. You stuck the chap next to him like this. Brazen, okay. What does that have anything to do with anything? So 4 pence? Oh, no, 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 no! I hit this one. Why is it going like that? So, we just need to find the 2 jurors with contradictory and put them against each other. Okay, now that I reread them, which is so much easier said than done. Is that perhaps where you were just thinking? How did you know? Well, I took the liberty of doing some research in case you happen to find yourself in such a situation. Shall I read you what I found out? It's a little long, I'm afraid. What was the question? No. You know what? Fuck it. It might be a good idea. Very well. Listen to this. During the summation examination, you will hear the assertions of the 6 members of the jury. In this situation, the counsel for the defense should use R and pit with impunity. Having done so, you will be able to compare the chosen assertion with those of the other jurors. Select the corresponding buttons to listen to the other jurors. Okay, so that's how... God, this sounds complicated. Note that you cannot choose the assertion of the juror you initially selected, nor can you choose the assertion of the jurors who have changed their leaning to not guilty already. Once you've compared to various jurors' assertions, work out which two contradict each other, and then pit them together with R to pull them apart. I see. She wasn't joking when she said it was long. The first step is to listen very carefully. Okay, I think I understand. There's 2 that I'm curious about. I don't know. Then I'm sure you'll start to see which ones might not quite agree with each other. Alright then, let's get this right now, so I never have to listen to a long and boring explanation again. That's the spirit. Oh, they crack me up. Okay, so this one here, definitely. So, I think, okay. No, not the granny, but
Objection!
those 2 statements clearly contradict each other. I think I'm gonna try it. They do? Explain yourself, counsel. Me? Oh dear, what have I said? I swear on several places, name and name, I have the first idea of what you're talking about. According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares. Quite right. I have those precise details typed neatly here in front of me. And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence. That it is, a fair and convenient single price, just the way London's carriages should be operated. But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts. Why, man, why? 4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication, it would be 16 pence. Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. So that means that, yeah, that's what I was thinking. That there's 4 pence and there's only 4 passengers. There shouldn't be 20 pence. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely, 1 person's fare. 1 person's fare? Yes, in other words, on the omnibus that night. It's distinctly possible. There was another passenger we've heard nothing about. Good gracious. This can't be right. The coachmen of the guild are good, honest men, one and all. Trustworthiness is our watchword. The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy. I beg your pardon? Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus. Alright then, how do I make this so this miserable trial doesn't end, Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire into the innocent side set of the scales. Now hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to go and... Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo. Damn. We're not throwing him under the bus. We're throwing the random guy underneath the bus. Oh, this is all very irritating. Begging your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same. Man, these people are so easily convinced. Just as well, you know. For the love of Mike, not you as well. A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters. Oh, really? I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear it from the witnesses again. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo, you did it! If we can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we could force the trial to continue. 2 more. Actually, there is something else that's bothering me about a couple of theirs, sir. Yeah, because the old lady is saying that he's being stabbed on the floor. Is like, hello? No. Then that's where you must strike next. So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions. Exactly. You can do it. Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination. Okay, I'm changing my leaning to innocent. I should like to hear what the short bookkeeper has to say for himself. He stuck the chap next to him like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. I have something... Bibble, this trial has to continue so I can get to the bottom of this corruption. Not guilty, I say. A scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief. Yeah, no, that's not true. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one I was thinking about.
Objection!
Those 2 statements are completely contradictory. What? Explain, counsel, post haste. Oh, dearie me. I was only knitting a jumper for my other half. What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3. What? Can't you see I'm busy here? Yeah, like, Granny's really like, let the bodies hit the floor! I can't do the heavy metal yell. How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Ha! Want to test me, do you? It was like this. Suck the fellow next to him without even getting top. Just like the prim banker said. Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true. Now then, juror number 6. Oh, is that to me, is it? What can I do for you? What can I do you for, young man? How would you like to say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam? Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so. He said the body hit the floor. Now, don't move. Take a look at these 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. and he stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions. What? Bless my stitches! What a muddle! What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth. Oh, but why? Why the dickens would they lie? Money? I don't know that yet. But what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience? Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me. She can change her mind like that. I can't abide people telling lies. Worm. The scales. I don't believe it. Wait. Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all. And you know what the fucked up thing is too? Is that people actually really fucking believe this. Like, not even just in England, but definitely in America. Look up anti-Asians law in America, and you'll find them. It's really fucked up. And also, and the funny thing is that they also blame the Chinese and other Asians for the opium outbreak. When I mean, yes, I'm pretty sure they were involved in some capacity. But guess who were the ones who were mostly profiting off of that too? Here's a hint. They took all the tea in China. They took the tea in China. So I'm spilling it. So fuck this guy. If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this? Answer me this, Doc Jinx. Huh? Me? What exactly is the problem? What of it if two witnesses have slightly different recollections of events? That means somebody's not telling the truth, you dumbass. What of it? Let's say that the Shylock did stab the victim as he sat next to him on the omnibus. And this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor and the Shylock stabbed him again. Then this old lady saw him do it. Well, was it to say it didn't happen like that, Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you. Wait, I just realized, is this guy like a reference to A Clockwork Orange? Like, I just realized, I never read the book, I never watched the movie, but I just realized it just looking at his eyelashes and just the way he acts. I don't know. And, you know, I've watched a lot of comparison videos about the differences between the book and the movie. So I'm just like, I'm thinking. Malcolm McDowell, is that you? Who are you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you. They're ready to kill each other now. At least it's each other. Not you, Rinosuke. Don't be fucking right. But could the foreman of the jury be right? No, it's not. He's not. He's racist, first of all. Did the two witnesses see two different moments? No, it's out of the question. Because look, there's just no way. Also, wait, hold up. A single stab wound. Like, I mean, think about it. Like, if he was stabbed more than once, we only found one blood spot in the omnibus. So there's just no way. No, it's not possible. It's out of the fucking question. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman. What is it, you Doc Jinx? Come on, out with it. What you're suggesting isn't possible. It's out of the question. What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. Barely. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the two witnesses saw the two different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me some proof. Okay, I'll get your fucking proof. It looks like the only way I'm gonna get to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish. What? I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime as proven by the autopsy report. Like, we literally just looked at it. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once. Okay, only once. It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen two different times. You're here. Alright, I concede defeat. Yeah, that has to be a Clockwork Orange reference because I know what's his name? McDowell played him when he was younger in the Clockwork Orange. I think that's McDowell. I think it is, but you know what I'm talking about, that movie. Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty. We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We won! This round. Oh, what are you playing at, you dandy fool? Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me. But we had a consensus. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head. Sure. Okay, Mr. Sweeney. Please tell me he's a barber. Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there's no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue. Put your tongue back in your mouth right now. I can't believe we have a Sweeney Todd / a Clockwork Orange reference in our courtroom. I cannot believe. I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to attend to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth. So, Lord Van Zix, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please. Do the leggy. No, do the leggy, big sexy. What? Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hollow chalice, Godot? It may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zix? Is it cold in here or is it just me? As your antiquated tone no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during the summation examination. So I honor the deathly silence and listen to the charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No. And why would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Oh my god, he is so fucking hot. Bring forth the witnesses once more. God, he's so fucking hot. Damn, I love one white man. Witnesses, I trust you heard the summation examination we have had to endure. Yes, sir. That I did, sir. Of course I heard it. Oh, yes, sir. I heard it. You, sir, on the end. The coachman. I believe it's Beppo? Yes, sir, my lord, sir. If it transpires that in your previous testimony you were attempting to reveal the presence of a fifth passenger in your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir. Mio Dio. Oh, mio Dio. Is he Spanish? Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination. I'm not even gonna lie, that's fun to say. Like... I only cared for 4 passengers that night. I swear it. Well, I for one was told I had to pay 5. I was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. He fiddled on the fare, he did. And then I saw the bird cut on his sight as well. It's all too much. I tell you, I saw Mr. McGilda stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands. Oh, yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so. Yes. Counsel. Make sense of this for me, please. The phantom fifth passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little concierge. I can't say that word. Beppo, explain yourself. I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster. The guild fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare? It's so cold. And the last run of the day is always half empty. You have been dishonest, coachman. I'm so sorry. You're a disgrace, Beppo. A disgrace. And your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild. If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week. What? 4 passengers at 5 pences is... yes, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently. No, that figures... Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel, for the defense, your cross-examination, if you will. We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games. Do the leg thing. Absolutely. Okay, I only carry 4 passengers at night. But I, for one, was told to pay 5 pence. Okay. He filled us for fare. He did. Okay. It's all too much. Oh. I tell you, I saw Mr. McGilda stabbing that man. He stabbed him, he did. You think? Well, I'm just wondering. He stabbed. You think so? Like, I mean, you already kind of lied to us about the fair, my good sir. So how do we know you're not telling the truth on that? Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you? Oh, yes, that's right. You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding a knife and an ice pick grip. I suppose I might have, yes, put the cart before the horse, maybe. What's this? Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was just driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seat on the roof deck. Oh, I expect that was me, sir. I wouldn't brag about that. Then when I turned around, yes, I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor and the knife was sticking out from his midriff. That's right, yes, the fellow holding on to the handle was the famous man, yes. So in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all. I really thought that I did, but when I go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't see the precise moment of the stabbing, didn't I? Sir, are you okay? Hello? I'm gonna pursue.
Excuse me.
Do you really have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay? Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Eh? Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some information from if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment? I don't think there's a chance. Some days they're like that. I don't think there's a chance. There's no way. There's just no way. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on top of an omnibus, that is. Hey, I'm a respectable city banker. I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember as clear as a ballad a day. It was a grim scene. I don't mind telling you. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Oh, excuse me if I was getting a little hot on the collar there, my lord. I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw. Oh, I could do that, all right. I'll tell you just how grim it was. Do you think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after that butcher stabbed the man? He wore gloves. Supposedly, allegedly, but
Objection.
Blood-soaked hands? Well, I admit that soak might be layering in on a bit thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it. Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's a little more than peculiar. What? Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question. Oh, yes, right. And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark color stain there. But, as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove. Ugh! They're all shivering now. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent. Yarn! But, no, that can't be right. So you're the liar here then. That's right, you were quite clear about it. You said, it was both hands. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Objection!
What's up, King? Do the leg thing. It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands, it was only one, but the fact remains. Look at them titties. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection!
Just on his hands, though. It was just on his hands. And especially if he's... Yeah, exactly, Renosuke. If he's gonna say, oh, they're on both hands. No, they're not. Or at least keep it consistent, you bitch. Which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court. Gag! Why? I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't provocate. He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But yes, he does. Literally, he does. Like, this whole thing, he literally does. Like, if his debtor is dead, or like if his debtor goes to jail and he gets, you know, convicted and shit, I'm sure like all debts would be forgiven. I don't know if that's legal, if that's even possible, but is that really the case? Mr. Naruhodo, if we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide on this trial completely. Something to show this man has a compelling reason to lie on his testimony. Yeah, we have evidence. My lord. Yes, counsel? The defense is ready to present evidence. By Jove, are you sure? Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had a reason to lie in his testimony. God! Very well. I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court. Bada bing.
Take that!
Bada boom. Get this dude out the room. This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded. Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused's extortion. The point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay. What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused? No. Well, it's barely what they be called a debt. According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say? Well, what of it? Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case? Those documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, with the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist. Cease to exist? Okay, so it is a legal thing, actually. Okay, I thought that was just him thinking that it's whatever, but Is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw? In a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant? God! Okay, so I wonder who's going to be the killer here. Order! 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 Mr. Bruce Fairplay! Yes, my lord! Let me ask you once again, and be aware that your answer may have the most serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time at which the defendant is alleged to have thrust the knife into the victim? Just say murder. There's no need for all these extra words. Did the twink kill him? Well, get your F's ready in the chat, I guess. Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony. All right. Let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch. A pinch? But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on Mr. McGilda's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
You're mistaking it for the gloves! For the gloves themselves! And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained. So you keep saying. First, did the twink do it? I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir. Go ahead, Mr. First. Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself as it happens. Seeing what? The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think... Yes, I'm almost sure that it was on the both of his hands, not just one. What? There's just no way. No, he was wearing his gloves. It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all of you witnesses. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear? Mr. Naruhodo, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last. Yes. I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. At least Renosuke has a lot more confidence in himself than Phoenix ever did. There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them. I didn't actually see anything myself. No, not until I heard that scream. Anyway, the fact remains, there can't have been anyone else inside that carriage, or we will all have seen. Okay, they're so vague. Well, lo and behold. So, I don't think the twink killed him because he did in fact scream. He and Mr. Fairplay, they're vibing on the top of the London omnibus, probably making out. Because fellas. Because they had to be distracted before they saw blood. So I really don't think he did it. I think these are just the initial witnesses that we just have to debunk. In truth of fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial moment that the crime was perpetrated. Because if the twink did it, he would not only have to climb out of the omnibus, he would not only would he have to get out in the middle of a moving vehicle, but he had to climb up and then scream. And I would think Mr. Fairplay and I would think even the driver would notice somebody climbing all over the omnibus. And does this twink really? I don't think this twink even has muscles. You know, that's my game theory. I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside the carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount of saying we saw the man do it. That's really not what testimony is all about. Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witnesses' accounts. In other words, there's no substantial nor significant change in the fact of the case. But they keep saying that the body hit the floor, so that didn't happen. So, and as far as that, yes, I do agree. The true culprit steps from the shadows, Lord Manfred von Commer the First. I guess here's my game theory. I think one. I think here's my game theory right now. My game theory is this. He was already dead. Like, he was already dead and stabbed by the time anybody actually noticed it. And I think what had actually happened was that Mr. Our defendant here, he says that he falls asleep while he's basically vibing in the omnibus. He probably takes the omnibus to get a hold of victims for his loan sharking business, and he falls asleep. Most likely he woke up, or either not even wake up. The twink woke him up because he saw the body. Like I said, at this point we don't know what they're doing. Like I said, Mr. Fairplay and the twink could be making out for all we know. And he sees the body, he sees the blood, then he screams, and then this whole shit happens. And then it's very likely too that he didn't even notice, because if he fell asleep, it's pretty likely that, I don't know, but then, or maybe the guy who actually did it actually gave the driver the extra pence. Oh, but then it doesn't, I don't know. We'll see what actually happens. Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel. Yes, my lord. Almost gave him a British accent there. Oh boy. But see, here's the thing. There's blood on the hands. Okay, I should save this. I'm just worried. So let's. Okay. I sincerely distinctly remember that. Okay, so we'll take his word on that. However, I don't suppose. Let's say this. Yes, that matters greatly. Okay, I remember seeing the knife, and then I remember seeing both attacker's hands. See, that's why I say no, but how did he get? Well, maybe in the chaos of it all, he slipped out. That's also entirely possible too. I didn't actually see anything. He's a driver. What the fuck are you doing looking? Okay. Anyway, the fact remains there can't be anyone else.
Hold it!
And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight at the roof of the omnibus? That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over. Oh yes, I remember I was shivering. It was so bitter. Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were yeah, thank you. Because I was wondering that too. Like, why were they sitting on the very top if it's fucking freezing? Are y'all... Is this a fella's moment? Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin. Oh, why not? It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door. It was locked? That's very peculiar. That's right. It's a public bus service, for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play. Yes, I had exactly the same experience. Fellas? I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below. Well, I can assure you I wasn't just looking down. I was glaring long and hard. And that's precisely why I can tell you with the absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. Unequivocal, I would say. I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? Maybe not. I guess it really depends if they... Hold on a second. I want to look at this again. Okay, yeah. See, this is what I was thinking. Like, there's just no way. Unless they're sitting over here. Unless they're sitting up here. There's no way they can see it. Yeah. Unless, because there's two seats, they're basically trying to say that it was like facing each other. And we know that's simply not true. So, no, they may not have been able to see everything. Oh, fuck, I probably should say. Well, get your Fs ready. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You're riding this omnibus and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight in the floor on the upper deck. Is that right? That's right, yes. In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you. What? By golly, really? Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here, in the flesh. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution demand. You will identify the area on this cross-sectional plan of the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that this potential extra passenger could have been situated? Sir, you better get that leg up by the time you get to the stream, right? We are waiting. We're that Judge Judy meme where she's like, hurry up. We want to see the leggy. The leggy, my good sir. Okay, so... okay, they're asking where the extra potential one be. Huh, so let's think about it. So they clearly are saying that they're not sitting here. I think I was thinking the opposite direction. I think what I was thinking, like, maybe he turned around and he saw them. But then that would have meant he would have saw them here. But the thing about it is that the blood was right here. So theoretically, they would see right here. But if they can only see down here, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. So definitely, save it again. I think it's this. Okay. Darn it. Both rows of seats on the roof face the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other, which means the visible part of the cabin which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight is as I've drawn here. Ah, that's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite of the one on which the victim and his attacker were sitting is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, they wouldn't have known. Yeah, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it. God!
Objection!
Oh my god, put the leggy up. It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. You Nipponese have a foreboding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity. I concur with the prosecution's racism. In the British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you are able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude. Wait. Can you, Mr. Naruhodo? Can we? honestly don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from the witness's roof deck? Saving it again. Okay. History. Unless we put a name. Let's see. So, they straight up wouldn't. Okay, so it can only go up so far. Let's see. Okay, so I'm trying to think. They only saw his hand, right? Right. And then blah blah blah. Like, golly, really? Yeah, I think. Okay, yeah, I already saved this. So we are. Yeah, because they never directly saw him. Right? But if they're inferring him, then they would have. But he said he was next to him. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. I mean, logically, well, they would have only seen him anyway. They will only have seen the brick maker there, and they wouldn't have been able. Oh no, they would have been able to see both the seat. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. We're gonna gamble. Because I understand, my lord. Well, get your F's ready, because this is a big gamble. Because, like, the way I'm thinking about it is, like, they're saying that he was right next to him. But if I'm thinking what I'm thinking, because if they saw somebody with both hands of blood, Mr. McWilly Wonka here, he's asleep. And in order for that crime to happen, the criminal would be sitting next to him, right? Yeah, the criminal would be sitting next to him. And so, Mr. McWilly Wonka, so he would be in the... Oh, yeah. Okay, we got it, I think. You are a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. A toast to hard lessons not yet learnt. Let us not delay, counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat. This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscure from the view was... It was a twink. No, I'm kidding. Man, he's only 21 years old? Okay, so he's an apprentice. Buddy, that's a rough 34. See. He killed himself. No, he unalived himself. My bad. I do... Because right now, obviously it's not him. Obviously it's not himself. Obviously it's not these guys. We have yet to learn of another guy. Or another person. The fifth... I really do think that there was another person. There had to have been another person. Obviously, there was another person. I think Mr. McWilly Wonka was in it.
Take that!
The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded. Mr. McGilded? What are you talking about, counsel? That's the name of the offendant. Because they only saw his hands. They didn't see him. Whoa. King shit. If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hollow chalice, do forgive the discourtesy. Put that leggy up. Lord Van Zeeks. People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly. Don't be like this. Don't, King. I can make you better. but don't be the worst. What are you trying to say? Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side, but you didn't see his face. That's the thing. You didn't see his face, you only saw his hands. Theoretically. Multiple witnesses have attested to that fact. It's the very premise of which this case is built.
Objection!
But that premise may be wrong. What? If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilden, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way. What inconsistency, counsel? The defendant's gloves, my lord. Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing, that's my contention, is that they keep saying, oh no, the guy's hands was covered in blood, but we've already proved that his gloves were stained by blood by a little bit. So there's just no way. And I'm sure, like, given the option, we can look into the glove itself to see if there's any blood in there stained from the inside out, and I'm sure we won't find it. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
Yet, we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains.
Objection!
The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance. Yes, the testimony remains unchanged. Exactly, they both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct. Their testimony reveals the truth. So there was a fifth passenger. There just has to be. I still think there was. Ugh. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night. A third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on that passenger's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
And who was this third party? Obviously, the true culprit. Extraordinary. Now get that leggy up, sir. Do it for the peoples. Do it for us. Order. 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 What exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
Do the leg. The defense's postulation is just that. Nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection!
But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said that the two of them were wearing hats. And I couldn't exactly make out their faces. Exactly, you couldn't see their face. Yes. The tops of their heads were obscured by the roof, but I could see the rest of them though. Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hard-hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir. And what particular styles of hat did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First? I'm afraid I don't remember. And you call yourself a hatter? He's mad. The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in that cabin. How can you be sure? Because if there had been, the accused, Mr. McGilden, would undoubtedly have offered to depose the facts. Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. I think he was already dead. That the accused failed to even notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled? I honestly do think he was already dead. I honestly do think, because an abdomen wound like that is a bleeder. That's a bleeder, especially if you're aiming to kill or to K-word, then yeah, that's a bleeder. And it's gonna leave a hell of a lot more mess than just a bloop bloop and a bloop bloop, you know? He's right. If there's another person traveling in the enclosed cabin in the omnibus, like, I think if it was locked on the inside, maybe. Ooh, even better yet. How about this? It's another game theory. Here's another possible one. The driver was prone to not telling the complete truth, right? So, what if the murder takes place before McGilded got into the carriage? And the culprit... But no, I guess actually, no. Again, that doesn't make sense because then, again, like abdomens... Like when you're aiming the K word, somebody in the abdomen, that's gonna be messy. That's not a clean job, as I've seen in TV shows and shit. And just knowing the body, especially because there's a lot of vital organs around that area, just the whole torso in general, and the sternum and all that. But like, I want to say that this, this happened before, but. I'm trying to think of a possibility how McGilded didn't even notice it. And the guy and the culprit just tossed him in, because I'm pretty sure you would notice a body. Oh, jeez, this one is kind of... Damn. This one's kind of confusing. It's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would have... Well, he was asleep. It's very likely, but I still think he was dead before. Or D word. Order. There is clearly a simple solution to this problem. Bring the accused, Mr. McGilded, to the stand. Well, what say you, counsel? The prosecution objects, my lord. On what grounds? The lady, as a suspect, he will already made a full statement to the police. But what if there's some reason he's unable to speak freely? Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it would have been the most deliberate act. Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion? My lord, should we ask? Ooh. I don't know. I'm leaning towards yes. I honestly do think he does. I honestly do think he does. I think he will, but you know what? Fuck it. I saved. If it's the wrong decision, we'll just go back. Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand. In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury. Yes, sir. I need a little time to consider this. If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say. Get the man out here, I say. It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony. If something needs to be doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild. Hearing what the patron of my favorite at the park has to say? Oh, yes, that would be lovely. Yes, the jury says the man must be heard. Alright. Okay, so far so good. Very well. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to stand at once. Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear. Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day? Okay, I'm taking a screen cap of that. So apt for so many things, like literally. To be sure I have, my lord. There are now 2 matters on which the court desires to hear from you. Hold on, let me just make sure that I actually got the screen cap, because sometimes it's funky. God, I hope I got it. Otherwise, I'll just get it from the thing. Let's see. Library. Did it not save? What the? Hello? Oh my god, I thought I hit it. No. Okay, I'll just get it from the video. Don't worry, I got it. It's all good. Just ignore me. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin, as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal the fact from the police? Begad, no. 'Tis not my nature to hide anything at all. Just answer the questions, please. The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Did I tell you all that, or keep me mouth shut? Tell us what, Mr. McGilded? The fine feather representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the night of myself and the other man, there was another passenger. It's true? Aye, it was me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened. You... What? What? What did you do? No, Magnus McGilded. That convenient excuse can't save you now. I'm truly sorry, so I am, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I say nothing when I was taken by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you. Which was... Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and not in any way involved, you see. What? If the police had known about the wee one was there, they'd have to assume she'd done it. They'd have hauled her into this here courtroom, just like myself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord. Yeah, that's actually very true. And who was this young child of whom you speak? That I don't know. You don't know? Well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since.
Objection!
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witness statements to be disregarded by the court. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak. Listen to the proceedings. What? Hello? Hello? Smoke. Fire! There's a fire! Look, someone's trying to get away! After them, no use! I can't see through any of the smoke! What's going on? Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face! Get on the ground! Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom. I have no fucking idea. Anything could fucking happen in this world. We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff. Amid seas of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. To be continued. Alright, so with that, I am going to go ahead and call it a stream. Unfortunately, we did not see the leggy. But next stream, we will see the leggy. And it would be wonderful. Because that is what the girlies want. And what the girlies want, the girlies get. So let me just go ahead and end it on a good scene here. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I may end up changing my schedule again. Just because I want to focus more on NaNoWriMo that's coming up in November. And I think in general, I think it's just my priorities have been changing. And I really want... yes, I do want to stream. I do want to hang out with you guys. But for right now, obviously, I'm not looking for this to be a real priority of mine. I enjoy it. It's fun to let loose and do all these silly voices and do the silly games and all that. But I really, really need to focus on my career too and my other things. So I think I might just chip it down to 3 nights a week. I will post the new schedule on the Discord. So if you're not on the Discord yet, look to the bottom of the description, or if you're in chat, hit the Discord Moobot. If not, or if anything else, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you. And if you're just watching this on YouTube and there's more, just hit the next button and enjoy the rest of the games. Love you. Bye.